Anu Mehta. I'm from India. I stay in Mumbai right now, and I'm the only mental health master trainer there right now. I also do other modalities like advanced clearing energetics, hypnotherapy, like Corentina. So a lot of stuff, EFT, matrix re-imprinting. So there's a lot of therapies and a mental health as a diagnostic tool. So that's what I do.
Great. So what brought you to Meta Health?
Actually, 5 years back, I was dealing with a big crisis in my life. I was at that point in Czech Republic in a place called Prague. And for me, the crisis was all about coming back into my country. I have 2 kids, and that would have interrupted their education, and it was the most challenging thing for me. And at this up and down of my life, I really found Meta Health, which is all about identifying a stressful event that happened in your life, and then soon and very fast getting to a plan or a strategy so that you do not create a disease in your body. So basically, when I found that I was coming back to India, my heart didn't want to come back. I just wanted to stay back where I was. I was comfortable. And during this time, I also realized that when I started learning mental health, I realized that I had been abused at the age of 6. Now, I had actually blocked out this memory right from 6 years of age to like 5 years back. And I realized I was not only touched, but I was touched many times. And I was touched by a person who was old enough to be my grandfather within the family. And that kind of, it multiplied my whole crisis by a number of times. It left me very helpless, feeling very empowered, and not knowing what to do about it. So basically, for me, this whole story of unheard screams where the child is so busy dealing with the stuff all by herself or himself became top priority in my life. I did have a plan to call up my mom, which I did. And my mom just heard me out and said, shh, don't say anything to anyone. Just keep quiet. And you know what? Don't tell your husband anything. Because if he hears this, he might not want you in his life. And for me, it was about coming back to my country, which was difficult because my mom was telling me not to tell anyone. Probably that's the reason that it becomes extremely important for me to help and empower not just myself, but so many other children who go through this. So Meta Health has basically helped me to deal with the issue, get awareness for myself, accept that this happened for me, and then find an action so that I can break patterns. And lucky for me, not only have I been able to empower myself, but many, many other children. And if we really look, I think we're all children right from the age from when we are born right up till we die. And if that child at whichever age gets unheard, there can be then the unheard screams inside. Until you don't give the strategy to those unheard screams, you aren't going to move ahead. So that's, I'm going to be basically talking about in the conference about my journey and how I dealt with it, how I was able to break a few family patterns and empower my daughter, very, very important. How she was able to break the pattern ahead in her life, and how so many other children were able to empower themselves. So that's what is going to be basically not just the anger. I don't want to just talk about the anger. I'm not angry anymore. It's about giving an action, a plan, so that if there is anybody else who deals with this kind of a thing, they don't just sit down with it. They come out in the open and they speak about it and get a plan for themselves.
Okay, so you're attending this year's conference as a speaker. Can you just tell us a bit about what you'll be talking about?
This year, as a speaker, as I said, for me, this issue about sexual abuse was so difficult to deal with that's really what I'm going to be talking about, and getting people, they're already aware. Look, this happens everywhere. It's not just happening in India, it happens everywhere. And people don't want to hear it. They'll tell me they're already aware of it. And that's really nice. Have you done something about it? And probably I might be able to help you to get a few strategies for yourself so that you can move ahead in your life. A lot of us probably did move ahead without even realizing something had happened. So the whole idea over here is to empower people, to get them to a place where they can tomorrow not hide their stuff, but get out and say, so what? It happened. Yeah. You know, like viral fever happened. So what's a big deal? I had a bump on my head. What's a big deal? I did go through this, and I was emotionally scarred, so I can now deal with it. And that openness, that support that they can get. Maybe the kind of work that I've been able to do in the last 5 years, I'm going to be telling people how other people were basically empowered, including myself. So that's what it's going to be about, my journey.